Okay, people, we are live in the Dude Studio, as always. We have, as always, something very informative going on today. We're going to be talking about the art of Alex Toth. Now, some of you know about him. People from my age and my generation, anyone that came after, just hears rumors. Well, I'm here to tell you everything I know about the guy and how well he draws and why he draws so well. Starting with... first off, Alex was a left-hander. I never knew that, but he was a left-handed artist, and I mostly know him from his work on the cartoon shows from the 1960s. He started, these guys had to have jobs, right? So they, when Alex moved from New York to L.A., he needed work. Everyone needs work, so he started with some of the animation companies. He does some storyboards for a movie about some creature in Mars, something like that. So he got his first taste of kind of his frustrated movie director period. Then Alex went on to work for a show called Space Angel, and I remember when I called him up one time. I said, "Alex, I'm really a fan of yours, and I'm enamored with a show called Space Ghost." He goes, "Space Ghost? I thought you were talking about Space Angel." I was proud of that. If you've ever seen Space Angel, it's not really animation at all. It's mostly a series of still shots, superbly rendered by Alex. Doug Wildey worked on some of the layouts, and so did Hy Mankin. These are all guys that would later join up with Alex at the Hanna-Barbera studios when those particular jobs dissolved. So by 1965, Alex was recruited by Wildey, Doug Wildey, to work on Jonny Quest. And Alex came in pretty much near the middle to the end of Jonny Quest to do some amazing work. I mean, Alex was just his work was unbelievable. And I'm here to show you why and show you examples of why he's as good as he is. I always wondered what Alex worked with, what kind of tool he worked in back in the HB days, and this would have been all through the 60s when he was burning hot, as hot as he ever got. Well, I found out an ad in one of the American Artist magazines from 1956, and I'm going to show it to you here. If we get a close-up here, we see an ad for something called Flowmaster felt tip pens. And I'm almost certain this would have been the advent of the magic marker boom that just started in the commercial art world. So this is something a lot of people worked with when they came out in the mid-1950s. This was actually a little bit before I was born here. I was born in December 1956, last day of the year, December 31st. And this is May 1956. So just before the dude came out and changed the world as we know it, for the better or worse, these things were being offered to commercial artists everywhere. And I'm positive this is what he used right here. One of the many illustrations of the new 1956 Flowmaster, they call it an Art Bulletin. Well, that's nonsense. It's a felt tip pen. And they finally figured out a way to get felt formed into the form of a pencil type nib, a very skinny one, and use it with magic markers. Now, I don't think this stuff is permanent. Today, we're lucky enough to have, a billion years later, we're lucky enough to have permanent pens. Here's one that I've been using for a long time. It's called a sign pen, and these things are wonderful. They're made in Japan, of course, and they kind of look like this. And if Alex had these around, see, they make any shape line at all. This one's a little worn out, but this is what the pen looks like. It's not a Flowmaster; it's a sign pen, Pentel sign pen. So I use those almost exclusively once the ones that were made before that went out of business. A common occurrence in the art business. So it says it's introducing the pen here, so it was probably literally invented and put on the market in 1956 in May, and advertised an American artist. You probably want to know what Alex looks like. Here's Alex. That's Alex Toth. There's a picture of him working that I was trying to look up before we got on here, with him working at one of the animation stations that no doubt would have been shot around the mid-1960s. And he was working with a Flowmaster pen and in his left hand, because he was left-handed. Most people don't know that. So that's Alex. Alex, besides his comic book work, he was known for creating the character that he dismissed over the phone with me, Space Ghost. Space Ghost was a huge influence in my life. The design of it, the music, the sound effects, they were 6 minutes long, these cartoons, and they were sandwiched in between another segment called Dino Boy. So there was a half-hour worth of this series right here, this show, to Space Ghost, and between it was a Dino Boy. Mo Gullub was someone that Alex worked with on Johnny Quest and on various comic strips. Because remember, these guys needed work, so they would do anything they had to. If they could draw, they were hired. And someone like Alex Toth and Doug Wildey were master artists. So the fact that they were designing these cartoons is no small part of what made them look so good. So that's Space Ghost that Alex created and designed. A lot of people don't know what his work looked like when he sketched it out. Well, I have an example here. This is in the common new blue pencil that everyone used back then and still use. This is a very common thing. What people do with a blue pencil, in case anyone's wondering, is they block in the figure with blue. And then in my case, you would slightly erase it and then go in with a solid HB pencil to tighten the drawing up. But this is a great way to do your thinking in blue pencil. And it's something that I picked up on early in my career in the 1980s and still use it today. I think with the blue, I tighten up with the regular lead, with the HB lead. Let's get into some model sheets here. Ultimately, this is going to be me showing you how I would break down an Alex Toth figure. That's what this video is all about here. So we're going to show some examples here. Let's get some nice close-ups here of this model sheet. This is from 1967, March. And I was about 9 years old, 10 years old by then. Here's a model sheet of Dr. Doom. And the reason I picked this one right here is because of the absolute simplicity of this figure drawing. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever talked to professional artists, but the easiest thing to do when you're drawing figures is to do wild, eccentric, crazy action figures. Now, that's a little different than making somebody just standing there. I think making somebody standing there is one of the hardest things you can do because you have to make it look natural. And I struggle with it and have struggled with it virtually my whole life. But I'm stubborn. I make sure that when I finally get it down, it looks pretty good, hopefully. Let's move on to another sheet here. Are we getting nice close-ups here? Good. Mr. Producer says, yeah, we're on top of that. Here's another figure right here. This has got a little bit of a superhero flair to it. But yeah, it's these drawings from 1967, 68, and 66, and from just before that on Johnny Quest, were impeccably drawn. I mean, the line quality alone and the perfection of the form and the perfection of the line work, where there's not a line out of place, it's stunning. And that's why this is part of what I do with my career at this point, is show you not only the examples of people that I've learned from and try to pick up on their mastery, but the influence of these people is a huge part of the work that you see come out of me. Move on to another one here. This is in this case, this would be a lot easier to draw. This kind of pose right here. It's not straight up and down. It's got the knees bent, as you can see, and the actual construction of this guy is very, very simple. But simple is only understood when you really work at taking the complex and making it simple. It doesn't come right away. Everyone talks about, oh, it breaks down to a very simple form. Well, yes, it does, but to get there, to learn it, to understand it, to assimilate it, and to really be able to use it is not something you pick up overnight. Because if I did, I would have learned this at 12 years old. This is one of the ones I'll be drawing to show you how to deconstruct the figure right here, to show you exactly what's involved. When animators take over and take these model sheets that Alex designed for characters in the show and had to draw them moving. Guys from my generation recognize these little twerps right here. This is from Moby Dick. These were two of the characters that floated around, messing around with a whale for a half hour. 6 minutes. So you can see from these figures right here, they're perfect. There was a lot of guys that worked at Hanna-Barbera, but I don't think, other than Doug Wildey, who was much more of a naturalist, Alex was interested in getting the exact line, and with a slight kind of a flavoring of caricature, just a little bit. I mean, these are not the character that Doug Wildey would have drawn, but they're accurate. Both the artists are dead on accurate with what they do. The line work is so clean, it's so perfect. Alex, in spite of his hair trigger temper, was a master. Was easily the best artist at Hanna-Barbera. I don't think anyone could touch this guy. After all these years and all the time, all the decades I've studied him, we're just always lagging behind Alex Toth. But the perfection, if you looked at these in a mirror right here, that's where I see a lot of the flaws in my drawings. If you were to hold up a mirror to these right here, or do what I always do, something like this, you can see that they're precisely drawn from the reverse view as they are in the front view. Is that easy? If it was, I could do it long before now. Here's 3 standing figures right here. All of them exactly in the most natural stance imaginable. What is it about this that's so hard? You pros out there are welcome to chime in and tell me your experiences with drawing a figure this natural looking. Because we all know it's not easy. A person sitting on a chair is hard. A person sitting on a couch is hard. A person just standing there in any one of the natural positions that the human body is versed in is not easy. There's another one, perfectly natural standing poses right here. These are so dead on, it's scary right here. They're a little rigid looking, but this is how people stand right here. A guy who had this kind of personality would look exactly like that. This is another one that we're going to try to break down, not because it's easy, because it's hard. Sounds like John Kennedy. Moving on. You know how many people don't understand how to hold a bow and arrow? I took a bow and arrow class in college, and it's a requisite. If you want to know how bows work, how to line up the arrow and close one eye and shoot it into the target reasonably well, this is a dead-on depiction of exactly how to hold that bow. And hands. Do I have to get into hands, how hard those are? Hands are funny. They've got these, there's a base to the hand. We all know that. And these 4 things coming out in this 5th thing called the thumb. The purpose of a hand is to grab. It folds in, the thumb comes over it. They're all hinge joints. Hinge joint, hinge joint, hinge joint, hinge joint. And they can rotate too. So you take all that, you try to figure it out, and you get a big mess. But we'll be trying to do this later on right here, depending on how much time you want me to devote to this stuff right here. Another perfect figure right there, just standing there. There wasn't anything Alex couldn't do. So when you get an artist that can do anything, you're talking to a guy you don't want to mess with here. You just want to learn from this guy. And you want to learn from him for the rest of your life. Slight walking posture going on there. Never mind that he had to create all these characters. He had to design them. He had to design all the things on their outfits, which the animators, I'm told, complained a lot about. There's just too much on this outfit for most animators, who tend to be a little on the lazy side, until the Japanese came in and drew every little rivet there is, to work on. So, but that's something that should never be allowed in any business, is to look at something like this and say it's too hard to animate. Well, you're just going to have to measure up and work and do it. This is what artists do. You have to rise to the occasion. That's another one I think I'm going to tackle if I have time. And of course, there's people that sit down and look very natural. This is one of the Alex ones from 1966, August 19th. We just passed August 19th, didn't we? So if we go back way in time, to August 19th, 1966, Alex was sitting at the animation board grabbing 12 field paper that we all worked on. That's for the animation and the layouts and the model sheets, all that stuff. You can see from the peg holes in some of these here that they were all taken from the model sheets, the original model sheets. That's why they look so clean. And Alex would have been sitting there with his Flowmaster pen in his left hand and dashing these off at almost a superhuman rate. He had to match Kirby, I think, as far as speed goes. But just the creative ability, never mind the speed and never mind the total accuracy of these figures. These are incredibly well done drawings, as good as I've ever seen them. So that's my spiel on Alex. Let's go about breaking some of these down, these drawings down right here. I think I wanted to mention this one right here from last time. What are we going to bring up about this drawing from last time? This was a Kirby drawing when I talked about why Kirby's great and how to break down his figures. Do we have any information on that, Mr. Producer?
So at the end of the video, we're going to draw a number from 1 to 70.
1 through 70, we're going to draw a number, and this is going to be raffled off.
One of the Patreon supporters.
To one of the Patreon supporters. These are the guys that really keep us afloat right here. So if you're interested in being a Patreon member, well, that's what you want to be, according to me. So let's grab a pencil right here. This is one of those Derwent drawing pencils right here. I'm going to put this right next to it. What figure do you want me to draw? Let's take a vote here. This one right here or this one?
Let's start with
the boy. Okay, we got the boy. Here's what I'm going to do. In fact, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you the way that most of us work right here with this blue pencil stuff. What I would do is probably start off like that. That's going to be the parameters of my figure. Do I always work like this? No. Sometimes I just do what looks good. But the hardest part about doing a drawing like this is the symmetry on both sides of this thing. It's very easy to have one side that's a little off from the other one, and that makes it look less than a completely naturalistic figure. If you don't set this head on, the form, the torso just right, it's going to be off. And this is something that I work on all the time. Let's look at the feet distance right here. Anyways, this is how Alex worked too. They do the animation business and comic book field is famous for doing its thinking with this this blue pencil right here. Let's grab our actual real pencil here. Try to work in the symmetry here exactly as Alex has it here. To the best of my ability, I'm going to do what he's doing here. This is a kid, so he's got a thin neck. Balance things from side to side. Do first things first. So within this thing is the torso. He's just not showing it. He even knows how to draw shoes perfectly. What a pain that is. So this is how I'm breaking down the Alex Toth figure right here. If it looks easy, be assured it's only 40 years of practice every day of my life.
We have someone who commented, beyond just the way they appear, a lot of the characters' personality is conveyed in these images.
That would be true. I'm trying to get this hand to look really natural. This arm, it's not the hand, it's the entire arm. How far do the fingers go when you're at a natural position right here? Do they extend really far, or do they not? Yeah, let's get your comments on what I'm doing here, because it's always helpful to get feedback so you know that what you're doing is important. Flowhard over there thinks it's important. So literally everything that I'm putting on here is a matter of something very, very simple. But to do it is very, very hard. Okay. Always nice to have a pencil or sharpener close. The head is very symmetrical. From side to side, ear to ear, neck to neck, and then the way the clothes work over the figure right here. Alice has got a little indication of where the knees are, and he shows that by going in a little bit. And that's all he needs. Maybe a little bit of fold here and there, if he so chooses. But the cut of the clothes, it's all hard. And remember, when you're working in the animation business, what are these things really for? They have to be worked on by 100 different people. And they all have to look, as they love to say in the animation business, like they were done by the same person. I'm going to clean up that chin a little bit just because I don't like it. So let's give a little bit of a chisel there, but mostly it's a boy, so he's got a round face. Are we all happy? Yes, we're all happy. So that's how I would break down an Alex Toth figure right there. You saw how it was done. You saw that there was a middle line, and you saw that there was a lot of symmetry. I didn't stop when I was doing my long lines. I brought them all the way to the ground. So everything has to match, okay? From side to side. There's drawing number one. And let's move on to another one here. We're not doing faces. We're not doing studies in that. We're doing figures. And they're all based on why Alex Toth is so good at drawing them. Okay, let's take these two stiff guys right here, these two tough guys. Let's move that to the side. Let's bring this in and see if I can do this with any sense of justice whatsoever right here. I'm going to do, well, we'll start with this guy right here. Now, the thing to remember is that what you just saw me do earlier, minutes ago, is literally what I'm going to do again. Because these things apply to everything you do. Whether it's a building, a car, there's a sense of back and forth and equilibrium among the limbs here. First thing I'm going to do, besides do the long lines, these are called the long lines right here. The school kind of taught me that. He's also made up of very particular proportions. This guy is not, he doesn't have the proportions of an old lady right here. He's big, he's strong, he's mean, he's tough. So that center line, to me, is kind of a big deal. He's got massive thighs. These areas down here have a swing to them, and everyone who's practiced endlessly trying to get this stuff down knows that there is a rhythm to these things. The neck needs to come over a little bit here. A little bit over this way. Otherwise, he's bent forward in a way that I don't like. So yes, guys, after all these years of doing this stuff, here's the waistline. That's where the middle of the elbow joint goes. just indicate hands. Give a general gesture of what they're doing here. Okay. Remember, we got the block, we got the fingers, we got the thumb, and it goes like this to get a fist. There's one view, there's another, there's that view, and there's this view. That's why real artists, people that are completely devoted to what the craft, practice all the time. I've heard people say, well, I get done with work at night and I go attend a figure drawing class once a month. Well, that's all fun and good, but that's really not going to get you anywhere. It's going to get you somewhere, but how far is it really going to get you? You know that answer by the way of coming up to an actual drawing. Let's get a black pencil here. Again, this is a Derwent drawing pencil right here. Watch that center line, guys, and watch the space in between the knees here too.
We have a commenter named Joseph. He said, "Didn't know Alex was left-handed. I always thought Mr. Toth and my wife had something in common creatively. She's left-handed too. Kind of makes me wish I was left-handed. Only kind of."
Yeah, well, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's a right-handed world, guys. In fact, Mr. Producer standing behind me here started out left-handed. Well, I cured her of that very quickly. And now she's right-handed and lives in a right-handed world. Thank God. You're welcome, Steve. Belt. These guys always held belts. Now let's finish the drawing off with some sense of competency. Remember, it's side to side, side to side. Get it right. You have to know how arms swing out. This is coming back a little bit. This is coming forward a little bit. We got the wedge like that of the hand. The main knuckle break is in the middle there. The thumb will extend a little bit. Oh, this stuff was only easier, but that's part of the challenge. That's why we do what we do here, because it's hard. People need challenges in life. You guys all know that. We all need challenges. If anything comes too easy, are you going to remember it? So here's the head right here. Again, a very, very simple shape. Simple, but not easy to do. I do not find these easy to do at all. I find them, you have to focus very, very intensely, which I'm going to try to do now, even on the face. Alex had a very particular way of drawing things. The mouth is literally like this right here. That's it. The smaller you draw, the harder it is to get something accurate. The mustache and beard is an instant way to get recognition of a character. And that's a lot of reasons why these designs in animation, simple as they are, incorporate something like a mustache or a beard. Alex has got his little spin on this right here. He doesn't have any cheek lines like this coming in. He just has, you know, this headpiece right here. All these things have to be invented. Do they come out of nowhere? Well, no, they don't.
We got a comment that says, "I don't know about anyone else, but drawing from Toth's character sheets is a humbling experience. No lines wasted, and everything is exactly where it should be."
Indeed, yes. This arm should be a little bit thicker right here. Remember, I'm going from side to side. I'm looking at this arm, and it needs to be in keeping with the other arm. One arm is not going to be skinnier than the other. One arm is not going to be longer. We're going to block this in real quickly right here to show. I do a little invention on my own here. I practice, for you guys that want to know how often I practice, half my life is spent practicing. And always has been. I just like to practice. So there's Alex number 2 right there. You guys want to see more? This symmetry thing looks easy, but it is not easy. If it was easy, honestly, I think we'd find half the guys, 90% people in the business that could draw figures as graceful as this right here. Okay, so this henchman here is done. Let's move him to the side. Let's pick a really hard one, as if that one wasn't hard, right? Okay, the bow guy. Yeah. All right. Well, this is really going to put me to the test here. The bow guy. Break time. This stuff is supposed to be an energy drink, but I'm still looking for that energy. Okay, guys, let's just, for the fun of it, use a red pencil here. There's no reason not to. There's no reason that you can't use any color you want. These are color erase pencils right here. Which I find to be anything but erasable. Okay, see that, guys? Can you guys see that stuff right there? Those very, very thin red lines and very, very light. I'm going to measure across right here and get hopefully what I determined to be the wideness of the stance right here. These are flat against the ground. And this is literally shaped like this right here. If there's any kind of a in and out in the waist, it's almost imperceptible. This is very important that you guys study this guy here if you want to be really good at what you do. All the guys that came before us, they're our teachers. You see how I broke down that head? Sketchy as it is, that's literally what he comes down to right there. And he's got the center line to put the features in, which I'll focus on in a little bit there. I told you guys that I think doing a pose like this with a bow is hard, very hard. Remember, you can do this line swing here to get kind of accurate location points. Even without the bow in his hand, if he looks at all stiff at this stage right here, you don't have it. In fact, that is virtually an exact quote from Alex Toth himself when I met him in San Diego in 1984. I met Alex. He was in a reasonably civil mood. And this is before his wife Gyla died, so he was approachable. The line of the bow, that's kind of got a figure in there. So I'm just kind of sketching a way to make sure I can get something reasonable right here. Let's erase this distracting line right here. So you see what I've got there? This is literally what it comes down to. And the only reason I can do it even half as good as this, even half as good as Alex, is because I've studied. So let's try to be really bold here and go in just on a figure that is broken down this loosely right here, and take it from here. Symmetry, symmetry, symmetry. Is this guy a bad guy? Well, look at the way he's designed. I love it when leads break. Let's not sharpen it so much. That's the shape of his nose. It has to be simple. It has to be it has to be characteristics of a certain personality type. Again, the mustache, very identifiable part of this guy right here. Let's change those eyes a little bit. They should be going up a little more. This is why we have erasers, people. Plus, the eyes go up a little bit more. They're literally they swing up way high. And he's looking to the side just a little bit there. So if we're going to reinforce the lines, we're going to get something like this right here. Bring the neck down. Bring this across. Okay, this line intersects with the beard there. Okay. Guys, we need more questions. So let me have it. You're here to learn. I'm here to explain. So write in with your questions. This is a communal effort, people. Okay, so you see how this literally carries down to here? This is amazing. This is what a real artist learns very quickly when you're trained well. And Alex was, I think, a lot of it. What he did was trained just by personal experience of working in the field. My own personal schooling has been massive. I have worked. I've attended dozens of schools, had dozens of workshops. Look at the subtlety in this foot right here. He understands form as good as anyone who ever held a pencil. He's even got that instep thing going on there. And now for the really easy part, which is going to be the hands. Same thing here. We're going to try to get the longest line possible. This is some kind of a wristband of some kind. I'm working around the hands because the hands are so complex. I want to make sure that I have a chance to really understand them. Here's where the main knuckle is, and I'm going to caricature these fingers a little bit here. People that know how to shoot bows know all about this kind of stuff. So let's try to get the main base in here of the hand, or at least try to figure it out. The thumb is to the side there. We don't need nails, but doesn't hurt, I suppose.
We have a question that says, do you think he had a very specific animal in mind when he designed that face? Because it's very cat-like.
Well, yeah, you take anything that there is and base it on that. Yeah, we all know that dicks are evil, so no doubt Alex was thinking of precisely that when he drew this right here. This is going to involve a little bit of drawing through stuff right here. So here's the base of the hand right here. The fingers go on a little bit, they all go out, and they wrap around this particular thing. This pinky comes out a little bit more. This goes. Keep these fingers with the right thickness here, okay? So it's holding something, okay? This goes up to here. Damn that breaking. Did they make pencils like they used to? I don't know. But it is a very good pencil. So let's concentrate very. Now, as you guys know, oh yeah, the arrow. I almost forgot about the arrow. It has to come right here. Knowing how these things work, it has to come right in between those two fingers. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. Good thing we still have a reasonably acute memory here. So this is the hard part, and I'm showing you how to do the hard part, so it'll be easier for you the next time or the first time you do it. This is a flat thing right here that gets skinnier. Alex knows form like nobody's business. So let's bring this, I think if this is the center of the bow, it would be something like this. And this is a flat thing. This looks round. It looks round because this thing gives it away right here. So he's grabbing onto something round. This is flat. From the side view, it looks like this right here. Okay, this thing right here, the handle, is round. You guys got that? Good. Glad to hear it.
Someone's asking, do you have a favorite Toth animated project or design?
Well, anyone that knows me over the years knows that the show that most influenced me for comic book design, everything, is Space Ghost. And Alex Toth designed that show. Now you can see I've got a little bit of a screw up going in here. You see the arrow from here, or the bow from here to there. I've got much more of a length thing going on there. And this actually goes under. So you see I'm having to figure this out as I draw it, okay? Later on, after enough complaints from the lazy animators, Alex was asked to simplify even more and more and more. And the more they had to recruit people into the halls of HB to keep up with their demand for product. Love that word. They had to hire a lot more people, and a lot of those people that came in were lazy, really lazy. Alex recounts the time when somebody came in looking like Droopy, the little white blowhard that you see in the cartoons. And of course, we can't forget the, what is this called? The quiver or something? Well, whatever it's called. Draw through. Go ahead and draw through it. And show exactly how it rests in this perspective against this guy right here. Alex, oh, I love it. Alex even has how this thing is. So there's a little ring, a little circular thing right there that the stuff uses to hang on to his body. So you see I'm drawing through there. Eventually you're going to be erasing things like this. But don't be afraid to draw through stuff.
Question we got is, do you see Eisner in the pose, an early spirit splash?
No, I don't. Alex Eisner is a completely different artist that I've seen than Alex Toth.
And is there a reference you're using? Is the reference you're using some kind of industry standard?
What reference? I don't know what you mean, because I'm just working from Toth's model sheets here. I can't stand the incomplete things. This goes like this. Beep, 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 beep. So this arm is a little long right here. Otherwise, it wouldn't be working like that. Study a bow and the arrows that go into it. There should be a little notch here too. See on the me and my directions. Okay, you know what? It's wrong. This is wrong. It goes under. This goes under. So when you bring it up like this, it's on the right hand side of the bow. Hands, when you do them, even when they're simple like this, the reason the guy is so good at drawing them is because he understands how they work, and that is not easy. Yeah, good old Alex. There's nothing he couldn't do, and that's why I study him, and that's why we're going over this today. The more I can impart to you guys to how these things work, the better off the entire business is going to be. We probably have a little bit of a cuff going on there. Okay, there you go. There's the bow handler right there. And his eyes are still not up there enough. This guy is really evil. I have him just moderately evil. Next, oh, what do we have here? Oh yeah, so I showed you this earlier right here. This is Alex working in his blue pencil thing right here. Turn this upside down, you can see his lettering, his marker lettering right there. Even the name of the pen that he used to do the marking, Cereball. It's probably some kind of a ballpoint thing. There's a ball at the end of the tip that would roll, so that's why it was called a ball tip pen. This is done a blue pencil, as you can see, but it's all there. It would take almost nothing for someone like Alex to go in there and completely tighten it up and work his wonders with that. You guys want me to keep going?
We have a comment that says, you would think with this minimal line use there would be a lack of weight to his figures, but everything has some weight and force.
That's all true. That's guy pointed out that these figures have a lot of weight to them. That's something you hear the minute you enter the field. The thing has got to look like it has actual weight to it.
And a question that says, when did Toth move to that thick square marker line? 1980s? He never lost the line or dynamic in doing so.
Alex continued with markers throughout his entire life. He wasn't averse to brush and pen. He just preferred markers. He used pen and brush a lot of times in the Zorro work from the late 1950s, early 60s, and on occasion other things like that. But the reason he drew with markers is because he felt more comfortable drawing with them. So if he had to put a bold ink line to make the work more reproducible, then he would use markers. Problem with markers, and he found this out quickly enough, if you use something like a Sharpie and you try to white that out, be ready to jump off a bridge rather than try to fix that stuff, because it is a mess. No whiteout works over a marker. And Alex would talk about that often when he went on about the virtue and advantages and disadvantages of using markers when he inked work. But this is done with all marker right here. This is done almost, I can almost bet money on the Flowmaster tip marker that came out in 1956. So let's give Steve Root a little break right here while he summons the energy up to go at it one more time. I think this is the last one I'm going to do for today, unless we get a lot of people writing in with solid encouragement to keep going and completely burn out. I'll probably stop with this one right here.
Got a commenter that says, yes, I would be interested in hearing about why model sheets are created and how they're used.
Okay, well, if you'll permit me, I'm going to go grab a model sheet and show you. Okay, we're back. This is a model sheet. Let's just put it up there so you can see it cleanly. This is one of the many, many Alex Toth model sheets that he did for the cartoon series in the mid-60s. I'm told he did 11 of these a day. I could do about 1 or 2. Let alone to design these things the way they are. The mastery of control of drawing is 100%. There's literally nothing about these things that could be improved. That's how good this guy was. And Alex was probably in his mid-30s when he did this stuff. Mid-30s tends to be a time when you're working on all cylinders, as I like to call it. But not only did he have to draw them up, he had to create these characters from the scripts that he was given. And there was a time when Alex decided that in order to make these things go faster, he would have the script writer, simple as these scripts were, to include all the props, all the characters, with a description right next to them just before the script started. So he would know exactly who to try to draw up and create and invent to do the model sheets with. These are anything but dashed off. These are incredibly well. The draftsmanship is perfect. The line quality is perfect. The design ingenuity is amazing. And to create these things and actually make them like they could actually move. That's a serious contender for being the smartest guy on earth as an artist. He had to draw these characters from all views. That's something that you guys that work in the animation business know how hard that is to do a really unique looking character and be able to turn him in the round so that you think of him not as a flat object but as an actual three-dimensional object. And he did 11 of these a day. I don't even see how it's possible, but based on the dates, this one here is from April 10th, 1967. He dated all these right here because that was important. If I was doing something like these eyes and the mouth, I'd probably go over the things a little too much and screw it up and get black in here someplace. Alex, with his left hand, working at capacity, was literally perfect. The dimension, this thing going back in space and coming out the way it is, this thing coming where it is, learning how to make joints that pivot like that, that's all part of it right there. To make a weapon that looks cool and to make it simple for the people that follow him on with the animation and the layouts, that's a model sheet. Turn it around, you can see that he used a really thick black marker for the heavy blacks. But the other line work was done with a Flowmaster marker. Okay, last drawing of the day here, guys. Let's do this one because it's hard. You can see right here a little scribble, and what that means, I've come to know, is OKJB. That means Joe Barbera, the guy in charge of all the art that went in through the cartoons back then, okayed it. Only on the rarest occasions did Alex ever get something sent back. I think you know how this works by now, guys. In fact, let's just take the head off right here. Let's just focus entirely on the gesture of the body. When I met Alex Toth in 1984, I said, Alex, look, I need some help on some stuff. And boy, did I need help. I said, come on over here to my table, and I want to show you what I'm working on here that you know much better than anyone else. I said, I'm trying to draw these gestures right here and to make them look natural. Something I'm attempting to do as we watch this video right here. And I said, what do you think of this?
They're phenomenal. Alex rocks too.
Yeah, he does. Alex rocks. This is another great thing about my generation. I was really, the time I was born is the time to have been born, because I got to meet everyone from this silver age of comic book art, and some of the golden agers too. These hands are tough. The first thing that I really should be doing is the belt, because the hands are going according to how the belt works here. Bring it across. And we should have something that's hopefully going to work. Let's put the clothes over him. Might be kind of smart to use red in this case so I can see how it separates. It comes in just below knee level here. And this thing rides up pretty high. The head shape is that of a boy. The eyes are about there. They're a little low in the head. The noses are small and undeveloped from what they're going to be when they grow up and get big noses. He's got a little bit of a Middle Eastern thing going on here, which is exactly the way he should be. The basic shape of the head, how easy is it? Well, try it, guys. Take one of his model sheets. Everything is online these days, you all know that. And try drawing it. So we have to construct the head as though that the hair and the ears and the hat aren't. They have to be drawn in with the big forms in first. They have to be done like that. And remember, these are model sheets that everyone at the Hanna-Barbera studios had to work from right here. So let's try going in there before everything's really been worked out. There's the wedge of the hand right there. The fingers come in. They probably go around a little bit, like that kind of a thing. There's the end of the wrist. I like to block things in very specifically, so I know exactly what I'm doing right here. I don't want to fake this thing right here without knowing exactly how it's supposed to work. Hands working over a belt thing like this, they're like everything else you're looking at here. They're try it to see how easy or hard it is. If I struggle with it and you don't, you must be some kind of a genius. Here's the middle line. There's always going to be a middle line, and through that middle line you're going to be able to find out how everything goes from side to side. The folds make this thing. What you're looking at right here is something from the above. Looks kind of like that. That's where these things go in and out, based on the how voluminous the fabric is. Let's see. This one comes down kind of like that. So let's modify that. Here, the thing goes around. Good old Alex. Not capable of doing a bad drawing if he tried.
A question that says, did Wildey and Toth get along well or even interact much?
Well, it was anyone that says they got along well with Alex must have a degree in psychiatry. No, they didn't get along. Doug, having met both these guys had a kind of a cantankerous side to their character. And you get two guys in a room like that. The people that knew them said they would circle each other, Alex and Wildey. But they had a lot of mutual respect because they could draw, and you can't take that away from anyone. If somebody knows how to do that, they know how to do it. And whoever's best at what they do is going to get the QB doll. Do you guys see how I'm working this here? This is with 40 years of experience that it's still something I have to focus on very deeply right here in order to get it right. During that private conversation with the Mr. Producer here, we were talking about right after this we have to even this stuff works right here. Incredible. We're going to announce the winner of the raffle, so that's coming up. And the drawing we're going to be releasing from that is this one right here that we did last week when we were talking about the genius of Jack Kirby. We have 70 names to draw from, literally, as I draw. And the lucky guy is going to get that drawing. That's why we raffle these things off. Even the guy's nostrils are very specific. If I was at Hanna-Barbera Studios and it was 1966 and I had to animate this stuff or do layouts, love that. These eyes are a little bit too big. So honestly, I would have to erase those eyes and really nail it. This thing goes around the head. If these little ins and outs are too particular for you, then generalize them. Go from the very general. Let's see if I can get these eyes better here. The look in the eyes. Is kind of a big deal. That's a little better. A little better.
Someone is asking Steve, have you watched Batman Caped Crusader? And if so, what do you think?
I assume that's one of the new animated Batmans. I have not seen that, no. The Batman show is I've never been a fan of overseas animation. It looks overseas. It looks manga. So I am not a fan of that kind of stuff. My roots are precisely what you're looking at here. The early Hanna-Barbera days. That's where most of the design work on Nexus comes from, among other shows that also took place around that time. Let's block in the hair. Just to give ourselves a fighting chance. It's something that hopefully will resemble this when I get done. Alex Toth had designed every last thing in here. He had it's one thing to design something that looks good. It's another thing to be able to draw it fast. So this extends a little too far right here, this mouth. If I want to make it look like him, the mouth can't be that wide. So this, look at the nice, bold, totally assertive way that Alex would block these in like this. Now, there's some blacks in here, but is it a big deal? Not really. This thing comes up quite a bit. I think I made the arms a little too long. But that's okay. Let's just, I'm not going to say fake it till you make it. I hate that phrase.
We have a question that is asking, was Dan Spiegel another animation artist as well as a comic book artist?
Dan Spiegel worked at Gold Key a lot. If he worked in the animation business, actually working in it, it's news to me. I've never seen a model sheet from him. I've never seen work that would reflect the guy that had worked in the business. A word about Dan Spiegel. He was one of the nicest guys that I ever met. He had a daughter named Carrie who was a real sweetheart. And those are my memories that go back to the mid-'80s. Alex understood everything about art, everything. He understood folds. He understood how to make them simple. And we're all just trying to pick up the pieces after learning from him. So this comes down a little bit like this. It swings up. According to perspective, this has a little bit of a seeping through thing going on there. And that is the lesson for today, guys. It's time for the instep. It's time right now for the raffle. Who is going to be the lucky winner? Okay, ATSR. Let's pick one of the let's pick a number right here. 1 out of 70, right? Okay, 1 out of 70 is going to be the lucky winner right here. That chin's a little too long. Ah! See, nothing's easy, guys. Get your hand in the right position right here, and you'll. Okay, that's a little better. You can't slop off on anything, guys. You try to do that, you're in trouble. Okay, there's my version of Mr. Aladdin. Okay, so I have to pick a number. Couple bit of a spiel right here before I pick the winner. This video is possible by Patreon. I'm just going to read it, okay? As a token of our appreciation, we're giving away this original art to a Patreon supporter. Everyone knows the Patreon guys are what keep this stuff alive. And the winner is, let's pick a number right here. Do I have to reach into a box or anything? No. Okay, so I just pick a number between 1 and 70. Let's pick number 33. And number 33 is?
Tyler.
Tyler. Tyler who?
It just says Tyler.
Tyler. Okay, the guy with no last name. Tyler has won this Kirby drawing from last week. It now belongs to him. So we're going to assign it to Tyler to make it official. Let's grab a blue marker. I'm going to guess the spelling of his name is like so.
T-Y-L-E-R.
To Tyler! Exclamation point. Congratulations on winning this drawing from the dude, based on a Jack Kirby drawing that we saw me draw last week. And we're still looking for a designer for the Rude Dude outfit. You have to be good. You have to be really good. And you have to know how to do pretty much anything that involves logos, designing books, and everything else I can't think of right now. But you have to be really good at it. So, what do they always say at the end of these things? Like, click, share. Okay, there I said it. And someday you're going to see me at the bottom of this thing going like this or like that. Okay, so that's it for the Alex Toth segment for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for a live stream. Take care. Adios. Bye-bye.